Hello friends, in this video I will explain you the rules that are recommended by IS 456 to design the restrained two-way slabs. So in the previous video I have explained you the design of the unrestrained slabs. So in the case of the unrestrained slabs, the corners of the slabs are free to lift, while in the case of the restrained slabs, the corners of the slabs are prevented from the lifting due to the monolithic construction of beam and the slab, or maybe due to the wall that is present above the slab. So due to this restraint, the corners of the slab are subjected to torsion. Hence, we need to design the restrained slabs for torsion at the corners. So now, to design the two-way slabs, we will calculate the bending moments in both the directions. That is, bending moment in the x and the y direction. So to calculate the bending moments, we need the coefficients alpha x and alpha y in both the directions. So IS code has suggested the table to calculate the bending moment coefficients. So as per this table, for different aspect ratios and different types of panels of two-way slabs, we can take out the values of bending moment coefficient. So first of all, let me explain you the different types of panels that are considered here. So let's say this is a plan of a two-way slab, continuous slab. So here the interior slab panel, that is one in which all the four edges are continuous. So this type of panel is called as the interior panel. Similarly, in the slab panel 2, here the one short edge is discontinuous. So here 5 meter by 3 meter panel in which the 3 meter panel is discontinuous. In the slab panel 3, we have one longer edge discontinuous. In the slab panel 4, we have two adjacent edges are discontinuous. In the slab panel 5, we have two shorter edges are discontinuous. So here this right hand side, that is 3 meter edge is discontinuous, and here the left hand side is also discontinuous. Here cutout is there. So here in the place of cutout there is no slabs here. So here left side edge and the right side edge both are discontinuous. Similarly, in the sixth panel we have two longer edges are discontinuous. So here the left edge is discontinuous, and in the right side we have cutouts. So here there is no slab. So here this edge is also discontinuous. So here two longer edges, that is of 6 meter length, are discontinuous. In the seventh case, we have three edges are discontinuous. So here the right side edge is discontinuous, the bottom edge is discontinuous, and the left edge is also discontinuous, and the longer edge is continuous. While in the case of the eighth type of panel, here we have three edges are discontinuous, but the shorter edge is continuous. So this upper edge is continuous, and all other three edges are discontinuous. And the last type of panel in which all the four edges are discontinuous. So this is possible for the single span slab. Now in order to design the restrained two-way slabs, IS code has suggested some rules. So the first rule says that we will divide the slabs into edge and middle strips. So for example, if I want to provide the reinforcement parallel to the shorter direction, that is LX, I will divide the slab parallel to the shorter span. So I will divide the slab in edge strip and middle strip, and the width and the thickness of the middle strip is 3 by 4 of Ly, and the width of the edge strip is Ly by 8. Similarly, while providing the reinforcement parallel to the Ly, I will again divide the slab parallel to Ly, and the width of the middle strip is 3 by 4 Lx, and the width of the edge strip is Lx by 8. The second rule says that the tension reinforcement provided at the mid span shall extend in the lowest part of the slab to within 0.25 of the continuous edge or 0.15 of the discontinuous edge. So let's say I have provided the mid span steel. Now this mid span steel should be extended inside the supports to take care of the development length criteria. So now from the center of the support, at a distance of 0.15 L from the discontinuous edge, we can curtail the bars and provide 50%. So at the mid span we will provide full AST, and from the distance of 0.15 L from the center of the discontinuous support, we can curtail 50% of the bars, and we can extend only 50% of the bars inside the discontinuous support. While if it is a continuous support, then we can curtail from 0.25 L from the center of the continuous support. The third rule says that over the continuous edge of the middle strip, the tension reinforcement shall extend in the upper part of the slab at a distance of 0.15 L from the support, and at least 50% shall extend to the distance of 0.3 L. So as we know that at the continuous end, negative bending moment is developed. So to take care of the negative bending moment, you will provide the reinforcement at the top of the support. Now this reinforcement, which is provided at the top of the support at the continuous edge, it should be extended inside the midspan up to a distance of 0.3 L from the center of the support. The fourth rule says that at the discontinuous edge, the negative bending moments may arise. They depend on the degree of fixity at the edge of the slab, but in general, the tension reinforcement equal to 50% of that provided at the midspan shall extend to a distance of 0.1 L into the span. So we know that at the discontinuous end, there is no negative bending moment, but there are chances of developing negative bending moment. So to take care of that negative bending moment, we should provide 50% of the reinforcement of what we have provided in the midspan. So let's say in the midspan I have provided 1000 mm square, then at least at the discontinuous edge I will provide 500 mm square. And the fifth point says that the reinforcement in the edge strip parallel to that edge shall comply with the minimum reinforcement requirements and cracking requirements as previously explained in the one-way slab. So as I told you that at the continuous support, in the edge we provide the reinforcement as per the negative bending moment that is generated at that continuous support. But in the case of the discontinuous support, at the edges we will provide the minimum reinforcement. Now the 6th, 7th and the 8th rules are for the torsion. So for example, I have this slab here. So in this slab, the bottom edge is continuous and the right side edge is continuous, and the top and the left edge is discontinuous. So the code says that at the corner with both edge discontinuous, we will provide the torsional reinforcement equal to 3/4 of the area required for maximum midspan steel. So what the code says is that, for example, at this corner, that is at the corner 1, here both edges are discontinuous at the corner 1. So in this case we will provide the reinforcement, that is AT, that is the torsional reinforcement area, equal to 3/4 of the AST max at the midspan. So whatever the maximum midspan steel is there, we will provide 75% at the corner 1. So for example, if the maximum midspan steel is 1000 mm square, at the corner 1 minimum we will provide 750 mm square. At the corner 2, so in the case of the corner 2, one edge is discontinuous while the other edge is continuous. So in this case, the code says that we will provide half of the reinforcement that is provided at the corner 1. So at the corner 1 we have provided 75%. So here at the corner 2 we will provide half of the 75%. So that is half of 750 mm square. And similarly at the corner number 4, here one edge is continuous and one edge is discontinuous. So we will provide, so that is 80/2. And at the corner number 3, here both the edges are continuous. So the code says that if both the edges are continuous, then we will not provide any torsional reinforcement. So that's all for this video. In the next video, I will explain you with the help of example how to prepare a generalized Excel sheet for the design of restrained two-way slabs. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.